Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Cowboys family. Today, we're diving into a story that's been stirring up a lot of buzz across the NFL community, and trust me, it's one of those headlines that could shake up the entire offseason. We're talking about a potential blockbuster move involving a key free agent from the Dallas Cowboys, a player who's been making waves with his performance and has now become a central figure in some serious trade rumors. So, buckle up, because what I'm about to share might change the way you see this upcoming season for our beloved Dallas Cowboys. Let's start with the core of this story. The Dallas Cowboys are facing some tough decisions regarding this pending free agent, a wide receiver whose name, as reported, is George Pickens. Now, if you've been watching the NFL closely this season, you already know how talented and promising Pickens has looked. But here's the catch. There's a strong prediction from ESPN's Aaron Schatz that the Tennessee Titans are eyeing him as a major addition for their roster, especially because they are in desperate need of offensive firepower to support their young quarterback, Cam Ward. This prediction suggests that Pickens could be heading to the Titans on a massive 4-year deal worth around $122.8 million, a staggering figure that highlights how highly he's valued in today's NFL. But isn't that fascinating? Here we are, with a Dallas Cowboys player being touted as a prime target for another team, and yet, the reality is far more complex. The initial reaction might be, wow, the Titans are really about to make a splash, but the truth is, things aren't that straightforward, because in reality, the Cowboys are not just going to let George Pickens walk away easily. They have every intention of re-signing him. The team's management, led by their front office, has been heavily invested in maintaining a strong offensive core, and Pickens fits perfectly into that puzzle. The Cowboys see his potential, his explosiveness, and his ability to stretch defenses as vital ingredients for their offensive scheme moving forward. Now, let's take a moment to analyze why Pickens is such a valuable asset. This season, he ranked 5th among wide receivers in ESPN's receiver scores, a metric that combines various advanced stats to measure overall impact. Additionally, he was 3rd in DR, an advanced statistic that assesses a player's value based on game situations, among wide receivers through Week 17. These numbers aren't just good, they are elite, especially considering his age and the fact that he's still early in his career. Pickens demonstrated consistent playmaking ability, big play potential, and a knack for making contested catches. His route running has improved significantly, and his yards after catch, YAC, stats show he's not just a deep threat but also a reliable option underneath. But here's where things get complicated. ESPN's prediction links this potential move to the Titans, who are desperate for offensive weapons. They're trying to build around Cam Ward, a quarterback with potential but still unproven at this stage, and they need reliable targets to develop his game. The Titans are known for their emphasis on a strong running game and a physical, gritty style of football, but in recent seasons, their passing attack has lagged behind. Adding a talent like Pickens could be a game-changer for them, especially if they can secure him on that lucrative deal. Yet the question remains, will the Cowboys let him go? And if they do, will they attempt to match the offer or even use the franchise tag to retain him? From the Cowboys' perspective, re-signing Pickens is a priority. With C.D. Lamb already establishing himself as a top-tier receiver, the addition of Pickens could create one of the most dangerous wide receiver duos in the league. Imagine the matchup nightmares for defenses. Lamb's precise route running and yards after catch ability paired with Pickens' size, explosiveness, and contested catch skills. It's a recipe for a potent passing attack that could elevate Dak Prescott's game even further. But the franchise has to navigate the salary cap carefully, and with other positional needs, they'll have to make some tough decisions. Interestingly, the report mentions that the Cowboys are highly likely to try to keep Pickens, either through a new deal or the franchise tag, which gives them a crucial window of time. If negotiations stall, they might even consider trading him to maximize value, possibly for future draft picks or other assets, if it benefits the team's rebuilding process. This approach isn't new for Dallas. They've shown a willingness to be strategic in managing their roster and cap space, especially when it comes to maintaining their core players. Now, let's delve into the big picture here. Why is this story so important not just for Cowboys fans, but for the entire NFL landscape? Because it touches on a broader theme that has been prevalent in recent years: the importance of wide receiver talent in modern football. We've seen how a dynamic receiver can transform a team's offense, and Pickens' rising star is proof of that. His ability to create mismatches and produce yards after catch makes him a valuable commodity. But his volatility and attitude concerns also serve as a reminder that players aren't just commodities. They are human beings with personalities, motivations, and sometimes baggage. This leads us to consider the potential risks involved if Pickens were to leave Dallas. Would he be able to replicate his success in Tennessee or any other team? Or would he revert to some of the behavioral issues that reportedly caused friction in Pittsburgh? That's a question that many analysts are debating. While he showed maturity in 2025, there's always that lingering doubt. Will he stay focused and committed once the money and spotlight are on him? The Cowboys front office clearly believes in his potential, but they also know that maintaining discipline and team chemistry is crucial for their success. Also worth noting is the strategic aspect of the Cowboys' approach. They're in a fortunate position where they can prioritize re-signing key players, thanks to their cap space and recent successful drafts. Their roster, especially on offense, has been developing nicely, and the addition of a player like Pickens could be the final piece that pushes them over the top. The offensive system under their coaching staff has evolved to maximize their playmakers, and having Pickens in that mix could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. Now, considering the broader NFL context, teams like the Titans are aggressively pursuing offensive upgrades this offseason. They're trying to build an identity that combines their physical running game with a more explosive passing attack. Their interest in Pickens, as predicted, underscores how much teams are valuing young, talented wide receivers who can change the game. The Titans' cap space gives them flexibility, but if they do land Pickens, it will be interesting to see how they integrate him into their offensive scheme and what that means for their draft strategy. And speaking of draft strategy, the NFL draft is just around the corner, and this situation could influence how teams approach their selections. If the Cowboys manage to re-sign Pickens, they might shift their focus to other positional needs, knowing they have their top receiver secured. Conversely, if they lose him, they might look for a replacement early in the draft or explore trades. Meanwhile, teams like the Titans will be watching closely, assessing what's available and how to best allocate their resources to maximize their chances in 2024. But what about the fans? Oh, the fans' reactions are already pouring in. On social media, you see a mix of excitement and concern. Cowboys fans are eager to see Pickens stay, envisioning the fireworks he could produce alongside C.D. Lamb. Others are wary, remembering past instances where promising players left or didn't live up to expectations. The speculation about his future is fueling debates. Will the Cowboys lock him down? Will they risk losing him to a division rival or a team with more cap space? And for Titans fans, the excitement is palpable. Adding a player of Pickens' caliber would be a major statement and could immediately elevate their offense. Now, let's take a step back and analyze the bigger picture. How does this potential move fit into the overall NFL landscape? The league is increasingly centered around explosive offenses and dynamic playmakers. Wide receivers like Pickens, with their ability to change the outcome of a game with a single play, are more valuable than ever. The teams that can identify and secure these talents will have a huge advantage in the postseason. The Cowboys, with their rich history of wide receiver excellence, are well positioned to retain their star, but they must act swiftly and decisively. Looking ahead, what can we expect in the coming months? The Cowboys' front office will undoubtedly prioritize negotiations with Pickens' agent. If they can strike a deal, it might set the tone for their entire offseason strategy. If not, they'll have to weigh their options carefully, whether that's applying the franchise tag, exploring trade options, or pivoting to other targets in free agency or the draft. Meanwhile, the Titans and other interested teams will be eyeing this situation closely, possibly preparing their own offers or trade packages. And let's not forget the importance of this story for the Cowboys' immediate future. Their success in the upcoming season depends heavily on maintaining their roster's core. If Pickens stays, it boosts their chances of competing at a high level. If he leaves, it creates a void that they'll need to fill quickly. The rivalry with other NFC contenders, the quest for a playoff spot, and the hope of finally breaking a championship drought all hinge on these offseason moves. Now, as we approach the end of this deep dive, I want you to think about the implications. How does this move, or potential move, impact the Cowboys' identity? Will they be able to keep their offensive momentum going? Can they convince Pickens that Dallas is the right place to continue his career? And for the Titans, how much of a game changer could he be in their rebuilding effort? These questions are what make the NFL offseason so thrilling. Every move, every contract, every trade can reshape the league landscape. Before we wrap up, let's consider the tactical side. The Cowboys' offensive system under their current coaching staff has evolved to leverage their playmakers' strengths. Adding a talent like Pickens could allow them to diversify their route concepts, create more mismatches, and open up the field for C.D. Lamb and their running game. For the Titans, integrating Pickens would mean designing plays that maximize his deep threat ability while also exploiting his yards after catch. It's fascinating to think about how these strategic adjustments could play out on the field, especially in critical moments during the season. And finally, we should keep a close eye on the upcoming NFL draft and free agency period. The Cowboys' approach to retaining Pickens will set the tone for their entire offseason plan. Will they prioritize him with a long-term deal? Will they be willing to go the franchise tag route? Or will they explore trade options if negotiations hit a wall? Meanwhile, the Titans' interest in him indicates their focus on bolstering their offense, and they might have other targets in mind if they miss out on Pickens. In conclusion, folks, this story is a perfect example of how dynamic and unpredictable the NFL offseason can be. It's a reminder that every decision made in these coming weeks could have lasting effects on the league's power structure. For us, fans of the Cowboys, it's a moment of anticipation. Will we see Pickens in a Dallas uniform next season? Or will he be wearing different colors? Regardless of the outcome, one thing's for sure. This offseason promises plenty of drama, and I'll be right here to keep you updated every step of the way. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the Cowboys will manage to re-sign Pickens? Or do you think he's destined for Tennessee or another team? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal.